What is up, everybody? I'm sorry it probably sounds like I'm underwater in this recording. I'm doing it on my phone in a hotel room in Canada as we finish up my bachelor party weekend. That's right, this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Dylan Optics Sunglasses. Those amazing sunglasses I'm wearing in every video that I make, pretty much, because it's always sunny in California. If you want a pair of those for yourself, and you should, because they are very, very special glasses. The glass on them is like looking at HD life, and with that matte finish on the lenses, you've got a very distinctive look. Only Dylan Optics offers that. Go to thesmokingtire.com, click on the Dylan Optics banner, and if you use that link, I will send you a free t-shirt, free Smoking Tire t-shirt for supporting the people who support the Smoking Tire. The glasses are double polarized, and they really protect your eyes. At the end of a long day in the sun, my eyes feel much better from wearing Dylan Optics sunglasses, and they have a lot of different frame and lens combinations, so you can always look good. Go to thesmokingtire.com and under the Partners tab, click on the Dylan banner, and I'll give you a free t-shirt for buying every pair of Dylan Optics sunglasses you buy. It's a good deal, folks. We're also brought to you by Beeline Coffee. The Roasted Tire 3.0 is my personal roast. Super good. Medium body, medium roast. It's got a bunch of caffeine in it. It's got a lot of flavor. It's really, really good stuff. Go to BeelineCoffee.com. Use code TST. That's good for 15% off anything you buy in their store. Code TST is good for 15% off anything in the Beeline Coffee store. Big order or small, it don't matter to Jesus. All right. On this episode of the podcast, we've got Sam Nalven of Race Service. He is known as the Drift Idiot in many circles. He's part of the Race Service media team, and he's a host on the Maximum Driftcast. This one goes all over the place, but he's a good dude, local in LA at Race Service over on Venice Boulevard, where they're doing Wednesday morning cars and coffees, which I kind of like. It's a nice kind of intimate affair over there, and they use Minotti's coffee, which is dank. It's a great show tonight. Sam Nalven, Drift Idiot of Maximum Driftcast on the Smoking Tire Podcast. Hello, Sam Nalven, Drift Idiot.
Hey.
Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast.
Thank you for... Are we doing accents today?
No.
We can.
We definitely can, sweetie.
Remember the accent card game?
No.
Remember the game is behind you, utter nonsense? We played it once on air, and then you're Jamaican went Irish or something, and you're like, we're never playing this again.
Yeah, no, we tried doing ad reads and accents. Yeah, it didn't work out.
Do you remember the Hyundai accent? I'm trying to make this about cars, guys.
That was an
Do we have
Keep
to do
it focused.
Do we have to do a show about
That
cars?
was an amazing segue.
Hyundai accent, specifically. I'm a brand ambassador for Hyundai.
Are you?
No.
Accent GT, not bad.
Really?
Yeah, actually not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Veloster N, quite good.
Those, I had one, we rented one. I had to go from somewhere in Tennessee to somewhere. I was shooting Bristol, the NHRA drag race stuff, and I thankfully got a Veloster that had Tiptronic. I don't think it was a turbo one, but it was through the Blue Ridge Mountains at night, and there's fireflies everywhere, and I was alone, and it was absolutely beautiful and insane, and I would have been bummed if I had any other car in the basic economy enterprise
Anything
class.
north of a Wrangler in that scenario is going to be pretty solid.
Yeah, it was a good car. Can we stop talking about cars?
Yeah, done. Thank God. It's over.
Can we talk? So we're both cat guys and car guys.
Yeah. How many cats are you rocking?
I got 2 cats.
I got 2 cats.
What are your cats' names?
We should fight them.
No!
Conrad and Pico.
Conrad and Pico. I've got Bucket and Timmy.
Timmy's it's Timmy. It's not just Timmy, it's Timmy.
Well, his name was originally Free Cat because he was a cat that showed up at my door and didn't leave.
Free Cat's
and
good.
And then it evolved as all names do, and now he's Timmy. And Bucket was because I always wanted.
Did it evolve one letter at a time?
It kind of did.
Free Cat into Tree Cat into no. That just fell flat. Sorry.
If you fight him, we can name the event Pussy Riot. A lot of SEO there. Sorry, I interrupted for something stupid.
There is. Pussy Riot, blood drawn, fur flies. Means something completely different. free cats are good. Both my cats were free. Conrad, I literally found on the street.
Really?
Yeah.
But then you have to pay a bunch of money, and that's why we got rid of my name Free Cat, because he ended up having some super rare blood disease and cost me like $4,000.
Turns out Free Cat is a very expensive cat.
But he's alive, and he provides much joy into our lives. So,
our cat Axel had a very rare type of cancer that required a lot of special care.
A hot injection of $10,000 and good to go.
I mean, it might have been 20.
Oh.
It was a lot. Over the period of 2 years, I think it was probably 20.
You can't really draw a line too. It's like after you've spent about 8 to 10 or whatever, and the vet's like, "Well, you want to let this cat die today?
You want to double down?"
Yeah.
No, I would have spent more if I had to, and could have. I would have spent all the money in the world. That cat ruled. Zach met Axel. He was the best cat ever. R.I.P. son. Pour one out for you.
Where do I pour it?
Where do I?
Right on the table.
In your mouth.
Okay.
Pour one in my mouth. Cars? Should we flip back to cars then?
Sure.
Drive anything good recently, Sam? Should we talk about where should we start? Should we start at race service? Should we
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, let's start.
What's the beginning?
30.
Who are you?
33-ish years ago.
33
my
years
mom
ago,
and my dad
33.
were in the Florida Keys. It was a stormy night in a rental property.
And
Better
than a rental car.
And I was made.
Was it very romantic?
I don't know.
Was it dirty? How was it?
It was a moist evening all around.
It was. So that's
Were there
the start.
mojitos involved?
Mm-hmm. Probably. And then 9 months later, I came. Do you want me to fast forward, or do you want to go through this?
Fast forward in 15 years.
Okay. I was a 15-year-old living in Phoenix, Arizona. My dad had a Mercor Scorpio. My mom had a Ford Probe GT that she later on she bestowed that car upon me because
did their best friend have a Ford Lincoln Mercury franchise? Is that how they ended up with a Probe GT? They were kind of a Ford
family. No, so my mom told me later on, as I've told the story many times on our show that we have, is my mom was really she's always liked sports cars. She's the one that taught me how to drive stick, but she was torn between which cars to buy in 1993, and she's like, it's either going to get the Ford Probe GT, is a really cute car, I like the lines, or what was that one called, Sam? Oh yeah, the Toyota Supra. And either one of these cars would have become like my second car essentially. And she went with the Probe. So that's cool. I mean,
got really good fuel economy.
They've got Well, I had the V6. All right,
got really bad fuel economy.
Yeah, it was a good car.
Wait, no, the Probe with this V6, was that a KLZ V6?
Yeah, that's the
Mazda,
Japanese
right?
version.
The Mazda.
Yeah, I had the American one, which was
has
like 160 KL something else. I don't know.
Was it a tiny displacement V6?
Yeah, 2.5 liter V6, and I like to tell myself that's like a similar piston size to a Ferrari. So it's like a 6-cylinder front wheel drive Ferrari is what I told my 16-year-old self. But before that car, I bought myself a 88 Fox body. I heard that you have dabbled in the Fox body realm.
I dabbled.
You dabbled.
I dabbled once in the SN95 and then once in the Fox body. I lost a lot of money on one and then I made a lot of money on the other one.
I regret selling every car, but of course you can't keep them all. But the Fox body was definitely one I wish I had today because they've aged so well.
They have. Did you see the one on Bring a Trailer today? Just went up. Look, you can find it on the front page today. It's like almost perfect. It's there. It is on right there, the blue one on the right. Yep. It's someone did a really good picture. It's like this picture is like a Cholo sunset.
Yeah.
And almost perfect. This one. It's a notch or a hatchback. It's actually Negero blue. It's the Audi color.
I had two-tone blue. Mine was blue and silver, or blue and it's blue and silver. And
it's got this big wing that needs to go for show.
I think good.
You should use the Cobra wing instead of this big plate wing, the Celine wing. And then it has an ugly steering wheel. But other than that,
good stance, good
look
color.
At the engine bay. Scroll down the engine bay. So the interior's pretty good except for that steering wheel. Flat bottom, no worky on the Fox body. But the rest of it's okay. And the engine bay with what looks like possibly a Vortec or possibly a... Sam, can you see that picture? What kind of supercharger that is?
Looks like
a Paxton?
For Duramax.
I can't tell what kind of supercharger that is.
I think it's Vortec. Yeah,
Vortec?
the intake says Vortec.
Okay, yeah, so it's Vortec supercharger. It's really nice looking engine bay. Someone I think is going to get a good price on this thing. He's got to change that wing and the steering wheel.
$1,000 right now.
Mine was $2,500. The first mod I did was a Corbeau fixed seat in it because the previous owner was a 500-pound man. That the seat actually was crushed through the floor. So I had someone weld the floor, and then I had that seat. And,
wait, it went through the metal of the floor?
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Gangster.
How old were you at the time?
Old enough to party, Zach? 16.
Old enough to party.
I was 16.
So did you know how to weld already? Did you just learn?
Still don't. One time, I during one of the build shows we did recently, I welded a nickel maybe to something.
Like you do in like a welding class.
Yeah. Okay. But it didn't go well. I can't throw ropes yet. Is that what you call it when you weld?
Beads.
Can't throw beads.
Yeah.
Throwing
Mardi Gras?
So one of these days I'm going to be throwing some ropes all over some
I think
cars.
throwing ropes is something else.
I don't think so. So
it's not? You sure?
Yeah.
Sure it's not something else?
Throw good beads, throw good
So got
ropes.
rid of the Mustang, got the Ford Probe, upgrade. It was newer.
It's round.
And then
I think the Probe's a good looking car.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. My friend's sister had a Probe, and it was not terrible. It was actually kind of okay.
Yeah.
The MX-6 was kind of cool. The Mazda version.
Yeah.
Sort of cool.
Not a lot of those on the road these days.
No. Anyway.
Then my dad got an 04 STI in 2004.
Wow.
A used one because some dude...
Is that the one that's outside?
It is not.
Okay.
That one got stolen after I drove it to San Francisco, where he lives now. Got stolen out of his garage within a few months of living in San Francisco. But then he works on air conditioning, water cooling for like Intel and large places like that. And there was this 04 STI in this back warehouse that he noticed just collecting dust for like 3 years. And he's like, Sam, do you want me to find out who owns it? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's find out. He finds out it's some kid who blew up the motor, parked it, and he's like, yeah, make me an offer. So I was like, $3,000. And he said, okay.
Really?
So 70,000-mile 04 STI,
Wow.
a little bit of body damage on the fender. I still haven't fixed it with a blown motor.
What year was this?
04. This is only 2015-ish.
Wow.
So 70,000 miles. Even the transmission is worth much more than that.
Yeah.
So I replaced the motor, and now that's my daily.
There you go.
And that's
awesome.
But I had an 02 before that he used to run on the Arizona Togays.
The Arizona Togays?
Yeah, we have a couple out there.
Where are the Arizona Togays?
The 88 was where we used to kind of race.
Where is that?
It's Canyon Lake was
I
the
know.
actual road for my
yeah.
Arizona homies still out there. But yeah, we would go there late night on the weekends because we didn't know any girls. And we would drive our Subarus. And
Zach had the appropriate nod for
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yep, know it well.
Should I pour one out for Zach in
Yeah.
my mouth? Is that how?
Just throw some ropes at him.
That's what else happened on the Toge. Like, what was that? Here's Dork.
Mm-hmm. We like to think that it was like initial D, but it was probably a lot of hair.
Do you look back? I look back on like the roads I drove as a teenager and not knowing what understeer was, not knowing oversteer was a word, but like correcting it. Yeah, that's true. I had an STI too, same thing.
Yeah.
Do you look back on it and you're like, wow, it's amazing, no one died.
It
or
is
crashed
incredible no one died.
I used to think power understeer was like a thing.
It is.
Just keep on powering through
I
it.
suppose it is, but it's usually generally not a good thing.
She'll rotate if you keep on gassing her. And
It'll make smoke, but if you're stupid, you think that's something.
Yeah, and that's kind of my introduction to drifting, was me power understeering through corners and thinking like, oh, I'm making some cool...
I wish I could do this with the other wheels.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you guys do that in the back? I just do it in the front.
But yeah, I was all-wheel drive nerd, and then I always wanted to be into drifting. I learned about it at a young age. Like I said, we're watching Initial D, which is it's a hentai about car boys.
Kind of, yeah. It's like a car guy hentai. Yeah.
And then
It's just like octopus porn, if you don't know what that is.
Most hentai is
animated octopus.
There's not cars in it.
No, but there are octopuses and vaginas.
There's octopi.
Yeah.
Octopussies is the plural, boys. And then there was a Speed Hunters article on Matt Powers, who was my favorite drifter at the time. I think Lindbergh shot it. And it was a green S14, and it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And then I was like, you know what? I'm 25. I was making some good money as a valet.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can afford this car. And I bought a S14 and decided to go drifting with it. And I was a still photographer at the time.
Yeah.
My mom had given me a GoPro for Christmas. I was like, I'll put the GoPro on the car and make a video about how bad I am.
Yeah.
Because everyone at the time, and still today for the most part, just wants to show off how good they are. And I was like, I know I'm not going to be good this first time. Let's just make a video about how bad I am. And I did. And then the internet kind of liked it within small circles. And then I kept doing it. And now I'm here in California making a living doing this.
Still bad at drifting.
I got a little bit better. I have like 20-ish drift events behind me, and I can
cool.
like link courses and do all that, and then So I did that series for a while, and then I started getting hired by my friends Andy and Jacob, and I was doing Tuerck. Have you ever talked to Ryan Tuerck?
Yeah.
So I edited those episodes because they threw me that bone because they liked the editing style I did on those, and also with a person you've had on the show and one of your good friends, Corey Hosford. I made some videos with him, and that's actually how I kind of got discovered, quote unquote, as Corey and I made a Hoonigan sponsor me video of Corey showing off all of his skills.
I remember that.
Yeah, so we co-wrote and executed that
kind
in
of
an afternoon.
worked, didn't it?
Well, he already was on Hoonigan, but the idea was that it was his
like a fake audition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I made that, and then a couple of people saw it and said, "Hey, this guy can maybe make some videos."
Corey fucking rules.
He's all right.
It's all right. Yeah. How's Dustin? You talked to Dustin?
Yeah, I just talked to him recently. He's been getting big into FPV droning.
Yeah, I saw some of his videos on his Instagram. What the fuck is his Instagram?
Crop Dustin.
Yeah, how do I forget? Crop Dustin on Instagram.
Dustin's a sweetheart.
He has cool like first person video, like just like mobbing his shop with a drone and shit.
So
Rules.
I got one of those, and it's really challenging.
You can make almost any room or building look awesome with a first person
But he makes it look
drone.
easy. He's already very skilled at it. Like, it is challenging because unlike if you've ever flown a regular drone like a Mavic or any of the DJI ones, like they have gyros, they have stabilization, you can kind of sit in place. Once you start moving with these little race drones, they don't stop moving. You're bound to move, and it's
like the inertia of them.
Yeah. It's wild.
There's a guy that he races one, but he also films out at Grange Motorsport a lot. I think his name's like FPV4 or something on Instagram, and I watch the races he goes and does, and it's
those are wild.
They set him up like in parking lots or like in warehouses, and they got to go around and loop, and they're so fast, the acceleration is ridiculous, and then the momentum, like it's like they're whipping an e-brake turn like Ken Block, but it just keeps going, and they go.
Well, they can go depending on the motors. They're all still very hackerware, custom, build everything yourself and program it yourself sort of thing. Like, of course, there's software for it that makes it a little easier, but it's for me, I'm very technically adept. It's very challenging to understand what the hell I'm adjusting on these things. But we hired Johnny FPV, who's like the big cool cat in the FPV world right now for a recent shoot, and then like 2 weeks later he's with Will Smith like on a yacht filming with him. It's like, oh, I don't know if we can afford him anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Big Willie style. The dude whoever was shooting Formula Drift at
Johnny.
Irwindale, that was him. That was fucking awesome.
And that's a really cool layer that they've added.
Yeah, it actually looks like you're like playing a drift video game. It's fucking cool.
And now they can't
ever.
really take that away because they added it as like a trial basis, I think, just to see like, oh, let's add this another element to our live stream.
Yeah.
And now that it's there, everyone will lose their minds if it's gone because it's so cool.
Yeah. How do they have battery life to run every event, every race like that? Are they multiple drones? I think they swap
Johnny
between
has
drones.
like 3 or 4, I think, and then he's got a bunch of batteries that he's just constantly hot swapping. You get about 2 to 4 minutes out of one of those batteries, I think, depending on usage. But he's more or less parking it after every run, going back up. Thankfully, in the format of drifting, professional drifting, there's a little bit of time between each run for the most part.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of time if there's crashes and all that. But it actually works out really well, and then that feed is then positioned and sent back to the live.
Oh yeah, here's a GIF of it.
So that was at St. Louis. That was a new round for FD this year.
I like that track.
Yeah.
Real high speed.
Very high speed.
Yeah, just fourth gear, like I think through the entire course.
The only challenging thing from a spectator's standpoint is that you can't see the entire track from almost anywhere. So most tracks are like a bowl. Like at Irwindale, you can see everything.
Irwindale's a great spectating track.
Best.
Yeah. I got that skybox hookup. Shit was fire.
The events you've done for drifting, were they all like parking lot K-rail cone courses, or have you done
so
road
in
courses
Phoenix
too?
there was it still is. They're still doing events, and they've grown exponentially. Go Fast Entertainment, I believe, is the ones doing it, and they had like monthly drift events out there. And since I've moved away from Phoenix, they've grown a lot. But it was all just. It was sometimes at like the Bondurant West track, and then sometimes just open parking lot skid pad, and then sometimes on the main course there at Firebird Raceway. There was medium challenging tracks. Like they have like open drift nights at Irwindale, which I'd be terrified of going to.
Oh my god! On the banking or in?
I think
it's
so.
got to be in the infield.
I think they do it all though. I'm not sure. I've never been.
The guy he went and did one of the like Hoonigan fan comparisons where they had to do donuts in the yard, and he just killed. His Instagram name is like Gorilla with 2 H's at the end, and he drives like an old ass Cressida and kills it. But he does the drift events at Irwindale that are in the infield, not on the banking.
Yeah, and the banking you got to need like 800 horsepower.
Well, you still see all of our boys in the pro level still eating it on the bank.
Yeah.
Like, your car, mostly now there's a failure. Like guys just get a random power steering failure mid-bank, but after you throw yourself at that wall at 90 miles an hour and then, lose steering together.
Gorilla.
Wrong one.
I remember going to an open drift night at another bowl that was in the place across the street from Road Atlanta. And that place, you know that place?
I've never been, but I see it
Lanier
from
Speedway, I think it's
yeah.
called. Is that it? I think it's Lanier Speedway. And they do a pretty solid course just in the infield, but they're not having people up on the banking. Yeah. That seems like a recipe for possible disaster.
With amateurs and bulls.
Oh, here's a dude, yeah. This dude in his Cressida straight mobbing.
Understeer.
Terminal understeer.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 2J, right? That's
I think he's got a 1J
Sounds
swap
one,
in it.
if I had to guess.
So what did you say? Sounds like a 1J?
Sounds like a 1. I can hear now.
You can hear the difference
I think so.
between a 2J
I'd like to
and a
think
1J?
so. I've heard enough drifty events.
What is the difference between a 2J and a 1J?
0.5 liters, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just a higher pitch?
And there's VVTI 1Js and non-VVTI 1Js. I think all 2Js have VVTI unless you turn them off. Some guys do.
Can you hear the difference between the VVT?
I'm not sure if we should do a test at some point, but I don't know.
Damn impressive.
I think I can do 1 to 2Js though, if I had to guess.
That's very good. Very impressed.
So there was a gap in the histories there. I want to at least get out the part where
you skipped your virginity or losing it.
Oh, do you want me to go into that?
Yeah, you went to Toge in Arizona, which was definitely not sex. And then so in between that and video making, which is also not sex, as we all know.
Well, I'd like to think that sometimes I make love to the camera enough, or behind the camera. Like if I direct people to make love to the camera enough, then the results show. Mm-hmm. I hope.
Make love on the track.
Make love on
with the tires. And
exactly.
I will film it.
Did someone say to you at one point, Wabaki? Did that happen in your history? No?
Wabaki?
No, it's a Tokyo Drift joke that wasn't good, I guess.
No, I think I remember what that is.
Yeah, it just wasn't good.
Can we spend the rest of the show doing Tokyo Drift jokes?
Oh, for sure. You got to watch Everything Wrong with Tokyo Drift.
That video you sent me was hilarious.
Nothing wrong
amazing.
With it.
No, it's like 18 minutes of shit wrong with Tokyo Drift.
I just like where the Southern boy shows up and they're like, all right, kid, you've never drifted before, take this car. and he's like, well, I don't know how to do this so good. And like, all right, that's fine, here's another car, get better. And then like there's that scene where the my favorite movie trope scene is like the getting better montage, where like the guy does the thing and everyone's sitting back like
yeah, and it's the Drift King is saying,
and then they drive by one more time and everyone's like and then he gets it on the third time and everyone goes
You gotta watch. There's this YouTube channel called it's like everything Cinema Sins.
Yeah,
and have you seen that?
Yeah.
The Tokyo Drift one, because it hits that and it hits like, you've never been here before, you don't speak the language, here's an $80,000 car.
Yeah,
it's so good.
But also that kid is he would be the antagonist in every other movie. Because he's actually a total dickbag.
In real life?
In every scene in the fucking movie.
He sucks. And it's still the best Fast and Furious, minus number 1, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Definitely.
You would go 1-3.
And then the series ended. That was the last one they made.
2 is amazing in all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
It's just firing guns. Purple Eclipse Gen 3 just ugly as
convertible.
Fuck.
Yeah, I love how they still had that Mitsubishi deal probably.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, we don't have any sports cars right now, but here's an Eclipse convertible. I would like to think that if they still have the Mitsubishi deal and they make Fast and Furious 15 or whatever we're on right now,
here's an
they
Eclipse
get the new
Cross.
Eclipse. Yeah, the Eclipse crossover one that he's got to drift in reverse at 80 miles an hour.
It would actually be kind of funny if like Jordana Brewster as like the mom was driving the Eclipse Cross. That would be a fun product placement. But
that will happen.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'd put BFGs on it or something. So it does something interesting. It's not like she pulls up
Safari
and then
Eclipse Cross.
The car also reminds me of maybe the worst car I've ever seen on the road that still exists for some reason is the Murano convertible.
Oh, Cross Cabriolet. It's a classy ride.
Is it? You're a fan of it?
It's so bad.
No. I'm not a fan. But there's my fiance Hannah hates the Range Rover convertible, the Evoque convertible, hates it, like gags in her mouth when she sees one. And the girl who lives across the street from us just bought one, so now Hannah gets to look at it every fucking morning, and she just gets more and more angry.
So I know that we're both Venisites, as we've met at Whole Foods multiple times, and Angelina, all the hot spots. But where do you live? What's your exact address?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. You on the canals?
Where's yours?
I'm on Brooks.
Oh. I'm not going to say where the fuck I'm at.
What, like, give us like an approximate.
Find the white Range Rover Evoque.
All right.
Convertible.
I'm going to drive around looking
and
for it.
when you do, you will be near
Okay.
my house.
I've got a mission tonight.
Yes. I can't wait to see you driving in circles.
I can't wait to just see like modified cars driving in circles, also looking, because this is
fucking Johnny Tran is coming for my shit.
I
got spoon engines in there.
I clutch in every time I see a cop now after the new.
Do you really?
The new laws.
Are you a bitch about it?
Well, I don't know. Do I need? I mean, I didn't listen to the full. I couldn't get through the episode of your exhaust guy. No, I'm kidding. I haven't listened yet. But
I understand.
Is it that scary? Do I need to be worried about
so.
having open exhaust right now?
In your car?
Yeah.
Do you have an open exhaust right now? How open is it?
I've got a couple cats in there.
How?
I'm hiking.
I mean, I think how you drive is going to dictate it to some degree.
Well, even at just like diesel, it's pretty loud, so I clutch in.
Maybe focus on the power and less on the noise for now.
I don't want more power. I'm trying to unmodify my car back to stock as much as possible.
That's a good opportunity to do it then.
What does it have right now?
It's got an external, mostly street stuff like an external wastegate, and boost is low, but it used to be slammed to the ground, and then I moved to California and ripped my bumper off multiple times getting out of my driveway.
Yeah.
And here's the videos. There's me putting some new BC coils on her. So now it's kind of a bummer in that she is no longer slammed. It doesn't look good anymore. Like when I get my Blue Bottle coffee in the morning, I used to just kind of stare at her. I'm like, that car's too low, but I love it. And now it's just regular height, and I can get over stuff.
You know what to do about it. I have obvious advice. Raise it.
Yep.
Make it a rally car.
That's kind of my next move is get rid of my 18s, get some 15 OZs, some thick tires, tire meats.
Yup.
I love my sidewall.
I strongly recommend it. I heart my sidewall very, very much. I don't even slow down for speed bumps anymore.
That's how it used to be.
Great.
Yeah, she looks so good, man.
It does. It's a good looking car.
Notice those little lower, I wouldn't call them canards, but those things are all ripped off now.
Yep.
Dude, I just did that in my Mercedes because it goes over forwards over those parking bumpers like so easily, but when it goes back it just gets like caught on it. Fuck.
It's always fun too when you're in a parking lot and there's people around and you do that. Yeah.
You hear that crunch sound
here.
The Whole Foods parking lot. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
That part. Have you seen the music video about that parking lot? Forget the artist, but the parking lot is so fucked up that someone made a rap video about how fucked up it is. So, okay, can you explain to the people what is race service? It will not service your race car.
It's pronounced race service. Yeah. No, it's race service. The broader image, or the broader thing would be, we were trying to figure this out when we formed it just a little bit over a year ago, is an automotive cultural hub. But it is an agency that caters to certain drivers. We make videos for other people. We build content for our own and other people. It's mostly client-based work, but it is a studio, garage, agency, automotive hub is the plan. But for on the forefront right now is making cool car videos. And then it's also changing the way, hopefully, that companies interact with motorsport and really making automotive marketing cool.
In what way do companies need to change how they are involved with motorsport?
We don't know. No, I mean that's not my. I just make the. I'm where the tires meet the road, as it is said. But also we're conceptualizing. I mean, just rather than putting a sticker on a car and then say, "And here's your $5 million check. Here's my Tide sticker. On our way." It's like there's different integrations to be done. I'm thinking of future projects that I can't talk about, and like how we're integrating stuff in there. But like Kia is a good example. So we did the Kia Stinger, where we took a Forte and we dumped out all the guts and made a tube frame, essentially race car, drift car with a Kia Stinger GT motor, and the entire thing was probably much, much, much cheaper than them putting out a single commercial at any time. That'd be it right there? Yep. Yeah. So this good looking car. They said the exhaust coming out the hood, right? Yep. Yeah. This is so rad. Yeah, so that has it's a twin turboed Stinger motor in a Kia Forte with a rear drive. Not just a rear drive conversion, but like a super beefy, legit. I would say it's Formula Drift spec, except for it's illegal for Formula Drift because we moved some of the suspension points, but it is a fully crazy demo drift car. We sent it to Germany and drifted it at a place called Ferropolis, which is like, have you seen the old internet meme video of the Bagger 288? It's this giant excavator.
No.
And it's like this just excavator museum. And we
an excavator museum.
It's really strange.
That sounds great.
And we drifted it over there with, and that was a partnership with Red Bull and with Kia.
Is it a pretty much stock Stinger engine?
No, it's got some big turb skis on her, and we have it tuned very conservatively right now, making about 600 horsepower. It's doing the rounds at the auto shows, but we hope to do much crazier stuff. If you do Bagger 288, the place is called Ferropolis, so that dude on the bottom right there is pretty similar. There's like 6 of those.
Whoa.
And we drifted around those. That was pretty weird.
Fun.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of an example of the flagship content we made at the beginning of last year or end of last year, and hopefully keep on doing stuff like that. So we built that car in and around RS, made the custom wide body, designed the style. Our buddy Nico, aka Ornamental Conifer, he is right now doing Daniel Ricciardo's helmet, and that's what I was filming this morning. And while my camera's still built behind you, and what I was doing literally 30 minutes ago.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, just little.
Are you on your way to the airport with that suitcase?
No, that's so how most photographer people, video people have just Pelicans that scream "steal me." Oh shit! Now they know that this green bag is full of camera equipment.
There
Don't
you
steal
go.
it. Yeah.
Oh.
But I'd rather not travel around with a big bag that says I've got $60,000 worth of equipment in here.
I understand that.
Yeah,
that works. I like my bags to be way more attractive than the contents inside. That way, when someone steals it, they're really disappointed that they took that sweet-looking rig
dirty underwear
for my dirt, the whites.
Yeah, you wear whitey tighties.
No, it's from Big Lebowski, son. Keep up.
I just watched. I watched it right when I moved here a year and a half ago, and then I watched it again last week.
It's one of the best movies ever made.
Stay out of Malibu, Lebowski.
I think that I say that
Malibu,
every single time I drive to Malibu. I say that to myself as I pass the sign.
It's great seeing
time.
like the bowling alley and all the other sites. It makes me really excited. Like when I watch Californication, that house is right down the street from my house. So it's like I always pour one out for Hank Moody when I walk by.
That house sold for a lot of money, I think. One of those architectural homes.
I'm getting ghost calls nonstop. It just happened.
Dude, me too.
Oh God! Emergency! SOS!
What happened? What happened there?
Apparently, if you hit the lock button 3 times fast, it thinks you're trying to call the cops.
Oh shit! That's probably good for people being raped. Not so much for people on podcasts.
Well, if you hold your home button, I think for like 5 seconds, it does. It's like, hey.
Oh really?
And I've hit it once, and I looked, and it was counting down to calling the police.
Oh shit!
Which is
that's
a good thing and a bad thing.
One time, Siri heard me
if you know about
badmouth Siri. I was badmouthing Siri, and she heard me say it, and I think when the robot takeover does happen, I'm going to be going first.
Like Siri's being a little bit of a
called
bitch.
me a cunt.
I'm always nice to Alexa. I say please at the end.
Do you have an Alexa?
Yeah.
I don't trust that shit.
Me neither.
No.
Well, you don't trust the listening device that it's always listening into your house?
Listening.
Alexa, please delete my records. No.
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
I know
for
my
you.
phone and my computer are both also doing that, but it's something about.
You got to draw the line somewhere, right?
I guess I can't not have a phone, can I?
My cats like listening to NPR when I'm gone at work, though. So
I put music on for my cats when I leave. They like.
Nice to just
put on chill on Apple Music.
Okay. Don't you think they should get an education?
You should put on different channels, like different talk radio, and see how their mood changes, or do they scratch more things?
No, they need to have just the nice soothing tones of.
Just put on some Bob Ross.
Bob Ross
put
is
on
awesome.
some.
We'll be talking about scratching posts this
Not
afternoon,
like
but first,
best dictator speeches, scratchy, fascist dictator
they're
speeches.
just trying to get out.
Well, now
the
that I'm
front door.
thinking about it, they do. I don't want to get political. They do hear a lot of Trump voice, probably.
They probably from all the
NPR,
Fox News in your house.
No, NPR. Just like they're playing like here's what happened today.
Here's some dumb shit this guy said.
Politics.
Dude, what is the deal on that wide body 308 that I keep seeing pictures of on Race Services Instagram?
Which one?
The gray one. That
that's,
one.
That's
what's
Benjamin
that about?
Buttons. No, it's not his name. That is Button Built, and
what's Button Built?
He's a gentleman that builds cars, and that is a concept that it's one of 2 concept artists. I don't want to blow it, so I'm not going to say which one it was. But there's dudes that make sweet concept car. Oh, it's that guy, bottom left. Who does that?
This.
That's
Is that a wide body 355?
The Kaiser. So this guy does cool car renderings, and this is not an official story. This is just what I've figured out, is that he kind of did a rendering and then Button built it, and it is sexy as all hell. Like there's this movement that I really enjoy that is older Ferraris that are just kind of being modified to modern style.
I think
they're probably not
pretty
fast.
interesting.
They're probably not reliable, but man, is it cool looking.
No. It also sounds a little weird. Is it just my headphones?
No, it does sound a little weird.
It sound a little weird?
This car, I've never actually heard it move, but it was sitting in RS for a while. And James, one of the founders of RS, it has, I think he's a 348? The red one.
The red one?
Yeah.
That thing is nice, man.
That is so cool.
2 years ago was the time to buy a 348, I think. But the more I look at them, the more I'm like, man, I could go up, Zach. The more I was like, I thought it was the top. Never mind.
You'll see it on the RS page if you look there. But
they're actually not bad to drive. I mean, they're slow,
dude,
but
it's got external gate. The thing that was confusing for me, so I peppered in a minute ago that I did valet for many years.
Yeah.
So like I got to drive everything modern-y during like 2009 to like 2015-ish. But I never got to really drive old Ferraris. And getting in that one, it's crazy how I don't know if it's because of the tranny tunnel, but the fact that the pedals are in a diagonal spot from your seating position.
It's not because of the trans tunnel. It's because of the front wheels.
Is it?
It's because, the front wheels are there.
It's so strange that you're not, you think like sitting in my car, feet straight, those are the pedals.
Think. Yeah.
Nope.
There are new cars that have that problem sometimes.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I encountered that was like a 2012 Passat that I got as a press car, and I got in there, I was like, how come the wheel is to the right of my sternum?
Yeah.
Like by 2 inches. And sometimes like it's usually more subtle now, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's very
Ferrari had a habit of doing it for quite some time.
But it's badass. It's cocaine cool. It's got like external gated shifter, like the font on the gauges is just right. Like everything about it just tickles that part of my brain that really likes that era style.
I think this
Does it
top-down
work
view looks
properly?
awesome.
I think so. Yeah, there is some minor maintenance stuff, but I think he got a good deal on it. I think it works pretty well. Thankfully, pretty much everyone at RS is both at least a minor mechanic and a photographer. Yeah. So like we all kind of have this ability to at least do basic work on cars, but there's more skilled among us as well.
Well, I don't think 348s are that complicated. They're the kind of the last of the older style kind of
the simple Ferrari.
Simpler. Yeah. I mean, Vinny Russo has zero Countach experience, but has no problem tinkering with shit on mine. So
because cars were simpler.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a simpler time.
It was.
Well, it's like I bet it'd be easier. Oh man, someone's gonna. Well, yell at me in the comments. I don't care. It may be easier to work on that Countach or diagnose that Countach, I should say, than like a 2013 Honda Civic that has so many wires under the hood. You're like, what is this shit? How many engines are in here?
So we do a lot of work with Snap-on tools as well, and that's like where I do videos, product videos, and like how-to videos for internal and external distribution, but like all the diagnostics things that are required to work on a modern car, from like TPMS tire sensor resetters to like just you have to. Anytime you rotate a tire on a modern car, the tire pressure sensor needs to be like realigned. Yeah. And I just picture like these brand new, top of the line BMWs and Mercedes coming out. Can you imagine in 20 or 30 years what you'll need to work on those things? It's going to be insane.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's why like a 1996 BMW 7 Series is worth like $8,000 and a 2001 7 Series is worth like $1,500.
Yeah. Because they're just impossible to work on.
Yeah, you just can't. What do you do? There's just so many wires and so many interfaces.
So many sensors, more and more and more.
So you had Sean Morris of Top Rank on recently.
Yeah.
I was thinking when my 04 STI, I just spent a couple G's on it just to make it better, extend its life more. It's only got like 115,000 miles, but it's still a 20-year-old car that has rubber issues and all the drive components pretty much need to be refreshed. But I was like, do I, at this point, when I was thinking about this 6 months ago, do I spend $25,000 and get an R32? Because, whatever, because it's my favorite car of all time. And then spend the 10 G's to make it California legal. It's like, I'll think about it. If I still want to do it in a few months, maybe I'll do it. And now they're like $35,000. Yeah. They've gone up $10,000.
Yeah.
And then you have to spend another 10 to make it CA compliant. So it's like, oh, cool, $50,000 GTR.
The $50,000 25-year-old Nissan.
And you sold yours too early by the sound of it.
Yes.
But you had to.
Well, I didn't sell it too early because I sold it for today's prices 2 years ago. But the current owner of that car wants out of it. And so if you want it, if you want it, you can have it.
$20,000 cash.
It's a lot more than that now.
$22,000 cash. Yeah. No.
Maybe Sean can probably take care of you. Sean can't find you a car that is within your budget and a nice car.
I'm sure he could. Yeah. I have to get rid of my STI though, because I literally have one spot for a car. And I've got a drift car.
If you find a good R32, you could daily it. There's no reason you couldn't.
I know. And all I do is drive to RS and home, and that's the other thing. It's like, should I spend $40,000 on a car when I literally only commute to there and back?
Could you take a bird to work? You probably could.
I'm not going to take a
How
bird.
often?
Have some respect.
How often do you have time to go canyon drive or track day or other, that
Zero.
kind of stuff? Yeah.
Really? Get a Volt.
I have my my drift car here, and it's been sitting in Ontario, California. We built it up for a show I directed a few years ago called Drift Garage, where Forsberg and Tuerck, two of the best drifters, coolest drifters in the world, my best friends. They say I'm their best friend. A lot, which is weird.
They haven't said on record.
They call
okay.
me.
Yeah.
I've never heard that
all the time.
They don't really talk about you.
But they built my drift car again.
They call me a lot. They call Matt.
Yeah, we hang out all the time.
Yeah,
really?
Thanksgiving was so
It's funny.
fun.
Forsberg said I was his best
I didn't get
friend.
an invite.
Yeah, it was good. He had those cool bunk beds at his house for Christmas.
What?
We all stayed in the same
Race
room.
car bunk beds?
This one time
Yeah.
he blew me. What?
Oh,
That's right. As
Well,
friends do.
Just
He said,
a little
"Don't tell
friendly."
anyone because you're my best friend."
Wink. But they built my.
Actually, he said, anyway.
That's fine. They built my original drift car, and it is a ripper right now. And with just like a day's worth of maintenance, it'll be an awesome, for fun, 400 horsepower S14. But it's been sitting in Ontario, California, in a garage for the past year and a half that I pay $300. Or I forgot how much.
Can I go
This
get
is
it?
the problem with race cars.
Do you know anyone
far
that's
away, you can't use
building
them.
car storage that would give me a spot for free?
No.
Almost free.
No. I don't have enough room.
What's the going rate for a spot at
You don't even want to know.
Is it already full pretty much? There's
Yeah.
enough rich guys with cool cars that...
Pretty much full, and it's going to be like $1,000 to $1,500 a month. But it's here. I could hit a fucking three iron there from here.
However,
What about four?
me and Vinny.
Four, not so much, but three.
I think getting the sharing a commercial space idea, which like Caswell did and other people, seems like it may be in my future. Talking to Vinny, like having a place to work on cars is very difficult in LA. Like, do you want an apartment? And how much do you want to spend for a closed garage? All those things. But you could get like a shitty commercial space in Hawthorne probably for not very much money.
And that's what before we bought the space or leased a space for RS in Mid City, like there was other people I guess looking at it just as rich guy, like, oh, there's a space for 30 cars and just shove them in there. Like that was a possibility for people, and we've since turned it into a
that actually
cool
would have
agency.
been a pretty dope spot for someone's personal collection.
Yeah,
it could have been pretty fucking badass.
Instead, all we have is this stupid agency.
You assholes took my personal garage option.
But I mean, if your car's cool enough, we'll display it for a week.
Yeah. Now when I need to get something out of the garage, I know who to call.
We'll take your Countach.
You'll
for
take
a
the
week.
Lambo, I'm sure. Yeah, it's working good now.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that you had to get trailered out of somewhere recently.
I had one little issue, but it was
whoopsie.
Yeah, I mean, I got stranded because of it, but it was just a broken solder. Actually, just one broken solder for 30 years
dumb.
old. Yeah, it was dumb. But driving it is good for it.
Yeah,
it is very happy now. And I just had to give back the Performante, which was very fast and very crazy, and my back has never been happier as when I don't have to drive that car anymore. But
have you driven the new Bugatti? Which one was it?
Chiron?
Yeah,
I have not driven a Chiron.
That one was over at RS the other day, and it felt really weird.
Who did J.R. Hildebrand bring that over?
Yeah.
Was he with a Bugatti person?
No.
They let him take that unattended?
Am I in trouble if I say yes?
No, but I've just never heard of Bugatti.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But I've never heard of them allowing anyone to take one of their press cars unattended.
I sat in it, and how much value do you put on a human life? Like, how much, if you're going to buy me, how much production could I give you throughout the end of my days? Like, maybe, I don't know, it depends on what I create, but let's just say it's like $3 million.
Yeah.
It's like that car could be worth more than me.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that own those things would happily have you killed if it meant that they could have one. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't even really think about it.
I love the interior of this car so much.
I farted in it.
I really do.
You fart? I would.
I didn't. No.
I would crop dust the fuck out of a Chiron. I ain't even afraid to say it.
Sure. That's that side they get the name. That's where they get the name from. When you sit down and you just go, sure.
I built the Lego one.
It is insane how when you get in a car that expensive and that boutique is like everything is just perfect.
Yeah.
Every dial, everything has been engineered and scrutinized so heavily. It's like, we need to make sure this button feels like a $3.5 million car
just
button.
The feel of like just the spring they used and like the action of it.
And I pushed every button when I got in there. I just did it.
And then it all turned off.
Let me touch all of this shit.
I hope JR doesn't listen to this. I didn't do any of this. I was very respectful. He watched me.
No, they have really good button feel.
Mm-hmm.
They do, but I've never driven one. I'd like to. Hey, Bugatti, hit me up.
Hit him up.
Somebody hit me up.
He won't fart in it.
God damn. I promise I will fart outside the car before getting in the car.
Matt Fair business card. I won't fart in your car.
Then says pinky swear, and then says just kidding.
Someone's going to start an Instagram account called Matt Farah farted in my car.
I hope so. Is this a call to action?
I hope they do.
Good.
Hashtag.
Or that's the next shirt.
Hashtag Matt Farah farted in my car. Or we should call Blip Shift. Speaking of which, I'm wearing, for those of us watching video, the
Here we go.
Smoking Tire John Player Special t-shirt. Get them now next 2 weeks at blipshift.com/TST.
I got one. Are these limited?
Sam got one for free.
Limited.
They're all limited by we only sell them for 2 weeks. And then
so this could be worth something someday.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, 100%.
It is the R32 of t-shirts.
Everything is worth something to somebody.
Yeah.
Someone somewhere is looking for a Hall & Oates record that is someone else really wants to throw in the trash right now.
All I'm saying is Gordon Gekko bought 10,000 t-shirts this morning because he thinks it's going to go up. That's all I'm saying.
Is he a lizard?
No, he's a Wall Street investor.
Oh.
He's very famous and rich.
I don't know if that was
those insurance commercials.
Yeah, the Geico
guy. What's got Race Service got coming up? You can't talk about things?
Yeah, not really, because there's the stuff that's coming up. But there's still a ton of projects last year that were crazy, considering it's a brand new company. But we already had a relationship with Vaughn Gittin, of course. I was his media guy at Foreman the Drift for a few years. Andy was one of the partners at RS, was a few years before that. And he'd always had the dream of drifting the Nurburgring.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking rad.
Did that. We went there the first time. And I don't know if you know this about the Nürburgring. They're very strict about their track. They don't want you messing around on it. And it was a total blowout rain weekend, and there was nothing we could do. And they said that, we don't care if it rains. You still are paying for the track rental, which, as you can imagine, is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And drifting in the rain sucks.
It's like $100 a day or something.
I don't know what I was saying.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And we didn't want to drift it because that's lame in a 500 horsepower drift car or any drift car. But we did have one of the few Raptors in
I remember
Germany.
That. Yeah.
So we zip tied the floor e-brake in a way that makes it come back up, when you hit it. And then we drifted the ring in a Raptor and kind of just made a fun little video about that. But then planned to go back.
Did you tear up the grass a little bit?
They weren't happy about that.
I think there was a little lawn mowing that happened.
There was a lot more that happened. Then we only put one in the video, but
I remember a mild amount of lawn mowing.
Yeah. So then we made that, but we still wanted to actually drift it. So we went back and did that over the course of 2 days, and it still had a crazy hail rainstorm for one of the half days. But we still got the entire course. Everyone says well, you didn't actually drift the whole ring in one set of tires. No, we didn't, you dingus. But
yeah, because you can't.
Through the magic of video editing, I made it look like you could. But it was 2.5 tires.
Would it be possible to do the whole thing in one set of tires?
Not on a 500 horsepower car.
Prius tires, maybe.
Yeah, 80 psi, 500 horsepower. But 2.5 is what the official number is. But he drifted the entire ring. There was like some high speed, just slight kink corners that, of course, he wouldn't actually drift. But I think out of, I forget exact number of corners, is it like 78 or 164? Somewhere between 78 and 164.
I think it's over 100.
Yeah, he hit like almost all of those.
Did you just jump up and down when you were there? You're like, I'm filming a video of a car drifting on the fucking Nürburgring.
It was very surreal having the Nürburgring closed. We wanted to do like a B-roll session of just all the signs, all the graffiti and all that. So our buddy at RS, Ryan Davis, drove, and then John Note, my shooter partner in crime, was sitting out the back of our diesel Audi, if I recall, and I was holding him in while we drove in reverse around the entire ring.
In reverse is weird.
Whoa!
So we drove around the entire ring in reverse in a VW Audi.
Wait. You don't just mean you mean reverse gear?
Reverse gear.
Oh my God.
I don't know if we're the first people to do that.
I bet you are.
God.
That's
You're
amazing.
Probably close.
Yeah, so we did the ring in reverse. That was exciting, and not the track it backwards, the car in reverse.
You could have driven it forwards and then reversed the video.
No, because there's still there's little gives, like if you see a squirrel running across the track,
and it goes back.
And then someone sees that squirrel running backwards, and they're gonna say, "Fuck this video, fuck Vaughn Gittin, fuck Monster Energy, fuck Ford Performance, fuck Race Service, fuck Sam, fuck Matt."
Huh?
They would be pissed. You see a squirrel running backwards? Mm-mm.
All right.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Attention
That's a
to
very
detail.
cool idea. Just a way to get that's one of the weird thing about video production is how do you get the shot? And you're like, oh, we hang out the back of the car and drive it backwards, the car in reverse, but driving the front, forwards on the track.
It felt good when we did it, and weird. And I think Ryan, who was driving the entire time with his head like this, I think
he had a real stretch going on.
Yeah, his
probably.
brain though, like his brain then wired for driving in backwards controls. Then we drove the car regular again. He's like, this is weird.
He actually spent enough time driving in reverse to get used to it and have like muscle memory.
Yeah. I mean, that must have been 20 to 30 minutes, right? I'm sure he wasn't going fast.
Yeah, I think like 18 to 20.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I took that same car proper ways.
There should be a reverse
ring.
race.
Yeah.
There, I would pay a lot of money to see that.
Yeah, I don't think that the Germans do not like joking.
No, they do not. They do not have good sense of humor.
But I drove that car then around the ring regularly, and then also in an M2, which I kind of want now.
M2s are fun.
M2s are sweet.
Very fun.
Yes.
And that's I was on the list for a Tesla 3 since like the day they announced it. I put down my G to get it to the top of the list because it was a $35,000 car.
Yeah.
And then I test drove one the other day, and the one I was on the list for was a $50,000 version with a longer range battery. And I test drove one with the dual motor performance.
Yeah.
And then that's the $70,000 version outfitted correctly.
Whoa.
And it's like, it was mind-blowingly awesomely fast.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to spend $70,000 on a car, you might as well get an M2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
unless
agree.
like you're an electric nerd.
Unless you are honest with yourself and that you only drive in the city.
Yeah. Why, you don't think it's a good stoplight to stoplight car?
I just think that I think electric cars are great stoplight to stoplight cars.
Well, especially with the autopilot, that is some weird shady legality to use, as the Tesla lady was explaining to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's situational.
But I put it in autopilot, and the fact that it doesn't see stoplights.
No.
But for like being stuck on the 405, you can just fall asleep, and as long as you fall asleep with your hands on the wheel, because it does know now when you don't. After that video surfaced of that dude actually sleeping at the wheel, you actually have to.
I
have
really
your
like
hands.
those services in traffic. They're fucking great. I mean, even Mercedes is really awesome.
Just stays in the lane.
Yeah, it just follows the car in front of you and
goes down to zero, goes back up.
Yeah,
it's very helpful.
That's really nice.
So I don't need a Tesla for that.
You don't need a Tesla, but it won't do it in M2. Sorry.
Well, looks like I'm keeping my 04 STI. It won't do anything, but it's free.
There you go.
That is a hard choice, though, like having to recognize the reality of where you live and what you actually do with the car. You're like, I want this M2, and then go, how much time do I actually have to drive, have fun and
that's
go
the thing
canyon
is, like,
driving
I'm doing 100 miles a week, and it's always back and forth between RS and home, and sometimes I go to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And any other time, I'm going out and I'm like having a good time and having some wine with dinner, and I'm not going to drive. And because LA sucks for parking, sucks for driving when you're drunk. Everywhere does. Don't do it.
Especially LA is just an annoying place to drive. So scooter and Uber.
And if you ever want to rent something cool, you kind of can. Like, we've got enough buddies that have cool cars too that, I mean, we were just talking about King of the Hammers before the show. It's like, oh, maybe I should get like a 4Runner or a Tacoma TRD Pro so I can go off-roading. But it's like, you can just kind of rent four-wheel drive trucks and all that. Like last year at King of the Hammers, I rented a four-wheel drive F-150, and it was awesome. Got me everywhere.
Yeah. You can rent them on Turo as well. Zach rented a Jeep on Turo.
Yeah, you can do everything. Now, do you have to
lift
disclose you're going to take it to King of the Hammers?
You don't have to. I didn't tell them what, and I went really mild off-roading.
Yeah.
But when I was doing it, I did feel very strange, and I kept myself from going on a more difficult trail because, like, I don't, want to deal with the rules of this. Even in like a press car, we've taken press cars on some pretty difficult trails, but we know that relationship. You can ruin them,
and they're like, well, that's showbiz, As I'm sure you have.
In press cars?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't ruined, but I've definitely caused damage to press cars. Yeah.
We've caused far less damage than other people have.
Oh, yeah. And I'm
hold on to that. As long as you feel good at night saying that we're not the worst.
If I do, there's people who break cars and don't give a shit.
Yeah.
At least if we break cars, we're like really, really sorry about it.
Yeah.
Recently, I chunked a wheel and put a big scratch on a Lexus LX 570 that I took off-roading. So they were happy I took it off-roading. They didn't care about the scratch.
All these companies that make these luxury cars, I'd say anyone that makes an SUV, like, oh, you're going to actually show that it can go on dirt? Sick.
I took a Range Rover Velar up a really hard hill. Yeah. And it was a beast.
How'd she do?
Fine. It was great.
They still have their pedigree of being good off-roadies.
Dude, a Velar is a beast off-road. Yeah. No one will ever take it off-roading, and certainly not on like 21-inch wheels, but like it was fucking great.
How much of that now do you think is the ability of the sensors, computers, individual braking, all that stuff, and how much, because it used to be mechanical parts and ground clearance.
Well, it has the air suspension, so it is ground clearance, and then it's the electronic traction control, and then torque vectoring.
It's amazing.
The combination of those things.
We've I think we can say it. Everyone already kind of assumed it, but when we were shooting Grid Life, you've been at Grid Life, you've seen those sweet AMG C63s. Those are rentals. And someone got banned from Hertz. I forget who. Anyways, those are good rental cars that can handle off-road and on-road, as we learned.
Did they get banned because the cars came back with no tires, or did someone...
I'd say brakes, tires, body damage, windshield damage, whatever.
They were literally following Formula Drift cars round and round and round and round.
Vaughn ran into one of them for fun.
Oh, did he?
At some point.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't see that part, but yeah. My old boss, who's now doing 4 years in prison.
Hertz, if you're listening, I didn't drive any of them. Sorry, I just want to... I didn't drive the cars.
Fuck Hertz,
I was shooting...
Bro. Fuck Hertz.
I'm an Enterprise guy.
I'm an Enterprise guy as well.
You go to the Marina Del Rey Enterprise? What's up, guys? You take too long to get me my car. It's like 45 minutes.
The Marina Del Rey Enterprise?
Yeah.
Like not an airport enterprise?
Yeah, but we always rent cars from over here. Like when we have local shoots, we get the best car ever made, the Dodge Grand Caravan.
I'm with you. Best camera vehicle ever. Do you prefer it to the Pacifica?
Yes.
Why do you prefer it to the Pacifica?
It feels more connected. It's a driver's car. It's a driver's sports van.
It's got more steering feel,
Yeah,
it's more communicated in the wheel.
I think the e-brake on the Pacifica, is that the parking brake, is that a button or is it a foot?
It's a button.
See, the foot one is a lot nicer because what you can do is you plant that, you do a burnout from a stoplight, or let's say like
handbrake turn.
Yeah, you can do a lot of good stuff. Enterprise, I would never do any of this.
We did. Remember the 360s?
Yeah, it rained in Hennessy. We were delayed for. I was bored. We were delayed, and I don't know why I did this. And I went out and I came back in. I was like, "You can do 360s in the Caravan." And just so you know. And I think I don't know. Maybe you jumped in with me.
I was like,
"You
give me that, give me that, give me the key, give me the key."
Whenever we have big shoots and we need two of them, like it's always good when we both line up at a stoplight and just mash the parking brake in, put in drive, and just floor it, and then sit there at the light just blocking traffic for...
You have to be very careful though, because if you have the climate control on, the smoke will get sucked into the climate control and just get blasted.
It's kind of like a badge of courage. No,
it happened to us once, and it was with
Corey Hosford. It was on that shoot.
Oh yeah, we can play our own video. There we go.
But you haven't been banned for this?
No, we weren't banned
back in the Donut Media days.
Yeah, no. See, that was the Corvette that was rented that we put nitrous on. That was my old boss, who's now in prison, who rented that one. So I don't care that he's banned from Hertz. Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, that's us. We're proud of that.
That's us. I'm driving. I think that's Zach on the roof there.
I always like when they have those ads on the countertop, and it's like, best way to buy a used car, Enterprise. Like, do you want to get the most fucked up car possible?
Not a chance, man.
No.
Recently, I've gotten kind of hosed. I've ended up with cars that have like 30, 40,000 miles on it.
They're done at that point.
They are tired.
If it's over 10, it's pretty much guaranteed to be broken.
Yeah.
We rented a Camaro convertible once.
That thing was fucked.
It was from Fox Rent-A-Car. Yeah. I shouldn't have said that. Well, whatever. It had 30,000 miles on
cares.
it. And when
People care. They're listening.
I got in, I turned the car on, and I swear to God, like it was written in a movie, the handle to open the convertible top just fell into the cup holder. It just clinked, and looked around. It smelled like cigarettes.
It smelled like mildew.
GM build quality.
It's a bad car.
GM, are they better?
Good. You know, whenever I drive a press car, I'm like, yes, these are built all right. And then you see one that's like 4 years old in a rental fleet, and you go, oh God, this is not good.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that they've abandoned Cadillac to the wolves, and they just like aren't making...
You know what? They're better than Nissan. Nissan is in the weeds right now.
The fact that they keep on saying like the kids want the Juke, not an S16 Silvia. Like no, and they're probably not wrong from a sales aspect. They're probably going to sell more Jukes. But if your entire car line is Nissan Jukes, then fuck you.
I think I think the Juke is dead, and it's now the Kicks. Called the Kicks.
Yeah,
their cars have just been really ugly.
Apparently, I hear has an amazing stereo.
No, just the design, the styling of them is so much useless shit. Which I wanted to talk to you about. The Supra, because at least in our world, our drift world, everyone is up in arms about the new Supra, and why
are they up in arms? I'm
less so up in arms, but my major complaint is useless shit, like design wise. The original Supra, not the original, but the most recent JZ80. Is that the 80? The 90 Supra.
93 to 98 Supra.
Yeah, very clean, very utilitarian. Nothing is needed that shouldn't be there. The new one just has a bunch of shit all over it. Bunch of fake vents,
fake scoops.
Yeah, just lines on the car that don't need to exist. And when you see people doing renderings that are like they put like the old bumper on the new Supra. It looks really good.
I saw someone who put an old wing on the new Supra, and it looked pretty cool.
But everyone in our world, the drift world, is pissed because they wanted the old Supra, and I think they would have been mad anyways if it wasn't the old Supra. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it's mostly a Z4, I was at the LA Auto Show and they didn't have a Supra there, but I sat in the Z4 and felt and looked at the interior and messed with everything. And then I saw the pictures of the Supra and it's like, yeah, this looks
the same.
Yeah.
Once and
the Z4 felt great, by the way. It just looks
like shit. When the new Supra came out, I knew it wasn't going to be the same as the concept, which was beautiful.
Yeah,
because it had to be bolted on this smaller chassis and stuff.
Safety and the mandatory hood height and all that crap.
Mandatory hood height, but also it has to be packaged onto that smaller. Like the concept was a larger car than the
then it
Z4.
Has to be in a little cabriolet.
But then when I heard that the fonts inside in the Z4 and the Supra are exactly the same, like it's not even, you can't even get in and imagine you're in a different car.
Yeah.
That was like a little kick.
I'm sure
in the balls.
It's tuned different. I'm sure it feels different, but I don't know. What's your initial?
I don't love how it looks.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in person. I've just seen a camoed prototype in person, and then
the SEMA one. I saw the SEMA camo.
No, the one that was driving around doing fuel economy testing by my house.
That's cool.
But
I like the front. I will say I like the.
I really need to see one in person because I do think it looks kind of wonky and busy.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you're going to fit in it?
I hope so.
You got big car problems all the time.
I hope so. I think it should be big. Is there a back seat? There's no back seat, right?
They even pretend to have. I mean, the old ones kind of did, but not really.
No, the old one's a 2+2.
Yeah, kind of.
This is nothing.
If you're sitting as a driver should sit, I think there's like no leg space.
It was a weird sitting position, I think.
I bet that's a badass car that is going to disappoint a lot of people.
Is that a back seat in the new one, Zach?
No, I don't think they're pretending. I think it's just
wall, right?
Yeah. I think it's just a 2. Yeah, lost the 2+2. Yeah. People were mad about that. It may, reliability will be a question, but we all know BMW's reputation, which sucks. It's not different enough inside from the Z4. That's
the
a
silver
bummer.
one that sold at Barrett-Jackson for like $2.5 million. That one actually looks pretty good in that nickel silver.
Yeah. That's
and
a good
from that
color.
angle, I feel like the marketing team was like, "This is the best angle. We have to pivot the car."
It's like one of those display trailers for boats.
Yeah,
you know that they display the catamarans all sideways like that. I don't know. I got to see one in person. Yeah, it's got a lot of elements that are derivative of other stuff to me, but maybe in person it looks a little less busy than it does in these pictures. These pictures just looks really busy.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. We're pretty confident there's not going to be one in Formula the Drift this year after like everyone was really excited.
Isn't someone going to get a dollar car or something and then immediately go put an old 2J back in this thing?
Probably. I mean, that's somewhat. I mean, these will be in Formula the Drift eventually, but I mean, there's not going to be a factory supported Toyota in Formula the Drift, unfortunately, this year, which I don't get necessarily because you would think that even if the market for drifting is younger and probably can't afford a $50,000 car, it's like, shouldn't you have goals? Like, shouldn't we get them young and like let them think that even if you can't afford this $50,000 car, we'll get them later?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, that's why BMW and Mercedes have like the A class and the 1 Series. It's like
BMW doesn't want anything to do with drifting, even though every one of their car commercials has a car drifting in it, and they hire all the pro drifters to drift their cars. They do not want to support drifting.
They don't, but they want people to get into BMWs when they're in their mid-late 20s, when they can lease the fuck out of a 1 Series, so that then later they can buy the more expensive ones.
Yeah. And the E36 right now is the new S chassis.
Yeah,
S chassis are all driven into the ground
and way too expensive still. Yeah. And the E36 feels really good. I've only driven one drifting. I had a cage in it, but it felt great. Mm-hmm. But
I'm a 46 man.
You're 46 man.
46 man.
Ever since seeing the original, was it a Gumball video with the E36 M3?
Yeah.
I've always had
Dotto? Was it Dotto?
Yeah. I've always had a place in my heart.
Techademics.
Yeah. What do we got for the questions today?
If they're people from my show, they're going to be a bunch of idiots.
Our show's full of a bunch of idiots too.
I didn't even mention that's another big part is I am 1/3 of the Maximum Driftcast podcast.
Right,
with
plug
Corey
the
and
things.
Paco. Oh, are we already doing plugs?
We can do plugs.
That's a great show. It really is.
So Corey and Paco and we also did the Formula Drift halftime show last year.
That was rad. That was so cool. How long have you guys been doing Maximum Driftcast? And then you got to do live broadcast. That's fucking awesome.
Even though our show is pretty much one long boner joke that sometimes talks about drifting, Formula Drift was like, we'll take them. And they made us a halftime show with less boner jokes, mind you. And hopefully that happens again. Formula Drift, I love you. Please let that happen. We'll see if we got some carryover from our audience here, if there's some real deep cuts.
It seemed like I saw some inside-y shit pop up.
If someone asked about a pigeon joke.
Yeah. I don't get it.
We'll see.
No, fucking Corey is one of my favorite people who I've met in motorsports who's just like a fucking lunatic.
He's a lunatic, and he's a plotter, and he's a thinker, and he's definitely one of the main... I would have gotten here anyways, all right? But Corey definitely helped me out. We made cool videos, and yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Right,
Good plug. Good plug, Sam.
Ramon,
Good plug.
What gives you the right?
Oh, no.
That's a good one.
Yeah, what is that? Is that from you?
Yeah.
What is that?
A lot of on my show, I'll say like, all right, well, Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. Just one question for you: what gives you the right?
Oh, good question. What gives you the right? Yeah.
All right, so
my Aryan heritage? No.
Have you done a 23andMe?
The Lord gives you the
right.
Lord gives me the right.
Have you done 23andMe?
No, I don't want them fools to have my DNA. I don't know. You
I
never
did,
know.
but that's because I'm adopted, and I had to make sure that my girlfriend and I are not related.
Did you?
That'd be
Yes,
cool
I
if you
did.
were.
How'd it go?
Are you related?
No, because it was a joke for a while, and then it was like, I really don't know, and we do look a little bit
adopted?
alike. No, but you never know who had an indiscretion.
Oh.
I've thought of this since I basically started having sex.
Would you? Do you love your girlfriend?
Yes.
Wait, do you
if
not
you
have
were
sex?
related? Would you keep?
Nope,
boning?
I'd volunteer to go to Mars.
Really? What if she was your mom?
That might be.
Do you wait? What if do you do DNA tests before you sleep with anybody?
Yeah,
I think
always.
they're missing. I think there's a hole in the market for instant DNA to confirm that shit for the few adopted people in the world.
How many?
Absolutely.
Family check.
How many of your siblings do you think you've slept with?
Probably one, maybe only, which isn't bad. I
Do you
think
think
all
this
of
is
us
related
have
to the
probably
rise
done
in
that.
like stepbrother porn and stepsister porn that's happening?
That is a very weird
I don't
thing.
watch porn. First of all, love Jesus, but why is there so much incest porn?
Because of the Lord. It gives them the right. No, I don't know. It's
It
the
is a
most
weird thing.
it's the most searched term. That's why they
Really?
say
How many people grew up in weird stepsister situations where they're just jerking off? And
Well, the
everything all
divorce rate in America is 50%, right? So you extrapolate that a little bit, use some math I don't know, and probably way too many.
The coast drives the trend, Sam. So
These coastal elites and their incests.
yeah.
Should we just? I can answer all these questions. The answers will be wrong, but I can answer them.
That's the point.
I like it.
Zero Gravity 31 says I want to buy a Canyon car for $2,000 to $3,000. It's not a lot of money. Should I get a BMW E36 328i with 200,000 miles or a Honda Hatch, which would be more reliable and more fun?
Honda Hatch. That's pretty
Honda Hatch.
Yeah.
vague, though. Like, is he talking like a Wago van? Like an 89?
Could be good.
That could be good.
Could be good. An
Any of
EG, an EK, or an EG hatch.
But there's no way those are $2,000. Are they $2,000 these days?
I think you have a real hard time finding either of those cars.
E36
for
you could do
$2,000.
with 200,000 miles for $3,000, I bet.
You could, but I can't. The fact that reliable is in the sentence.
Yeah.
That's what you need to know.
I'm going to say, because rear-wheel drive is what it's all about, get the BMW, but the Honda's probably going to be more reliable.
I'm going to go Honda for sure.
I would go Honda, although I'd rather probably drive the BMW, but I would still say Honda. Crumbs15 says, should I get a used Corvette C7 Z51 or GT350 for a daily driver?
The GT350 is probably more comfortable.
Not necessarily. Corvettes ride really well. If you don't have a problem getting in and out of a low car, the Corvette has a really good ride. GT350, there's 3 different suspensions on that car. Base, Magna Ride, and then R. So let's eliminate the R.
R stands for really comfy.
Yeah, because he probably was not going to get an R. If you get Mag Ride, it's good. Base suspension, not great.
I've never driven a C7 to my recollection, but every Corvette I've driven before that felt like driving a roller skate. It feels really like disconnected and floaty. Is it better now, I imagine? Everyone says they're great drivers.
C7 Z51 is a very nice car. I think it's a nice car.
And the Z51
awesome.
has different springs, shocks, diff. It comes with like all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, and the GT350 has a back seat, but you're not going to use it much. And the Corvette has a bigger trunk and gets better fuel economy. So maybe the Corvette.
I've never driven the GT350. I don't,
You've driven a Mustang.
I have.
Imagine a Mustang with a better feeling gearbox and a nicer, more refined engine.
Are you going to get it in yellow?
Can you
Crumb?
get? Yeah.
I would say if you're going to do yellow, do the C7. Maybe a convertible. They don't make a Z51 in convertible, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. You can get a ZR1 convertible with a giant fucking GT wing on
Take
it.
the top off anything.
Yeah.
Yellow, though?
They know their customer, and you can get it in yellow.
Does the standard GT350 have a lower ride height than a C7 Z51?
No, the Corvette's lower.
Okay.
Yeah, Corvette's lower. If you have to go over bumps, you want the Mustang, probably a lot of bumps. Like
otherwise,
big dips. I would probably say the Corvette.
As long as it's in yellow. Just
as long as
you want, man.
David H. says, I saw your one take on the NSX. Thoughts on the current hybrid tech for sports cars? Can you list some negative attributes versus normal internal combustion cars like a Porsche 911? So
5 words or less.
Negative attributes is weight, complexity, and
power, like making the power delivery seamless with the internal combustion engine. Yeah,
there could be some roughness there. I mean, the big one is weight, because the NSX is a small car
that weighs 4,000 pounds. Or something.
Yeah, it's 3,800, whereas the Ferrari 488 is like 3,200 or something.
And that's the best way to make power. Is weight.
Is weight.
Get rid of all your weight.
Yeah, and so weight is the biggest one, and and the other is complexity. It's harder to tune it. It's harder to fix it. Less places can work on it. You probably can't work on it yourself at all. So that's really the negatives. But the big one dynamically is weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eli Fitch says, I'm moving on from a well-loved Miata. I'm looking for a non-daily driver that's engaging but offers a very un-Miata experience.
School bus.
Mustang or Corvette question.
Should I get a Mustang or a Corvette?
Camaro.
Or anything else?
I would say a Hertz Camaro. 5 years old.
An un-Miata experience? I mean, you could, a Camaro, a Mustang, or a Corvette will offer a very un-Miata experience.
By definition, every car that isn't a Miata would offer a non-Miata experience.
Yeah, I mean, un-Miata is what? Something with horsepower?
If you want a Miata experience, the FRS feels very Miata-y to me.
The guy above with the Honda BMW, he should buy a Miata.
Oh.
That's true. Right below him, just beneath him. St. Peter is the one who asked this question if he should buy a Honda or a 3 Series.
I mean, un-Miata experience, maybe something front-wheel drive. Something front-wheel drive would be an un-Miata.
A Mustang is pretty un-Miata-y versus like an FRS, which feels like a hardtop Miata to me.
Correct.
What generation Mustang is 6th gen? I have no idea.
There's been a lot.
Well, for 25 grand,
nobody does Mustangs by the numbers of gen.
What do you call the one after the Fox body?
SN95.
What about the one after that?
S197.
Nerds.
I don't know what a 6th gen is, though. I have no idea.
For 25 G's, that's got to be a 2015.
Maybe,
in that ballpark.
Probably. I mean, a Corvette is very fast, but the experience is kind of similar to a Miata in terms of the size and the dynamics, but it's just a lot more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mustang would feel different from Miata. So would a Camaro. Try those. Or something front-wheel drive. Also, let's see, Crumbs15 says again.
Damn, Crumbs.
Yeah, would you rather have one expensive fun car that you could also daily, or a slightly cheaper fun car and a daily? It depends on where you live. For me, in Los Angeles, where there's 2 types of driving, the shitty grid and then the awesome mountains, I want to have 2 cars because they're just, the spread is too big.
If you're rich enough to have 2 parking spaces.
Right. Which I am.
Damn, son.
In other places, in somewhere else, like if you live in Colorado, just one dope car that you could drive under all circumstances would be sweet. What do you say, Sam?
I would say that if you're me living in Venice with one spot in your driveway, you should have an 04 STI and a sick drift car that you can't drive.
Which is an hour or 2 away.
Yeah, in Ontario.
Yes, right.
That's the move.
A place that's so far away, it sounds like a different country.
But I wish that I could drift my daily,
You can if you get a different one. Or
but you also don't want to do that because you ruin cars when you drift them.
I haven't ruined it yet, but I'm gonna. I know.
Is Zach going to start selling a Drift My Daily t-shirts yet?
Oh, if 1,000 of you want to Drift My Daily t-shirt, we'll make one.
If Zach's press car game continues on the tight level it's been on, he'll be able to drift
What's
his
the
daily.
secret to getting free cars all the time?
Well, because they ain't free is the secret.
Yeah,
the secret is what are you going to do with them?
Yeah,
and then it's not so free.
That's a good one, Black Tie Sky Guy. Thank you.
Black Tie Sky Guy. Would you rather fight 1 Corey Hosford-sized duck or 25 duck-sized Corey Hosfords? I'm going to go with the 25 duck-sized Corey Hosfords. You know why? Because you can kick them.
I'm going with 1 Corey Hosford-sized duck because I think 25 Corey Hosfords would get clever in a very scary but probably kind of hilarious way, and Corey's, I think they'd win.
Put on a lot of weight since you've seen him.
He was a little more like me and less like Zach.
You've seen that TLC show, like I'm Really Fucking Fat, I think is what it's called.
My 600-pound life.
Yeah, that's about Corey. So Corey's gonna be on that soon. I don't want to throw out numbers for his weight, but he's big.
He's expecting.
So I would say I would go for 25 duck size Corey Hosford. But are we talking fat ducks?
Hey, they can be chubby ducks.
These ducks have guns?
They have to be to scale to actual Corey Hosford.
Ducks don't have guns. This is a hand-to-hand fight.
What, do they have knives?
No.
No weapons.
They have beaks, which are annoying. Pop, pop, pop. And the shrieking sound. I think it'll be a doughy duck. If it was one Corey Hosford duck, it's not going to be like a World's Strongest Man duck.
It wouldn't be like
Bruce
the
Lee
Andre
duck.
the Giant duck.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I normally fight big groups of people.
This is going to be Albert Duck.
Quack, quack, quack.
Either way, someone's getting fucked up. Anthony says...
I love how your
delicious.
commenters' questions... Like on our show, most of them have to do with something we talked about in the show.
Nothing.
These guys are just generally wanting to know what to do with their money.
To do with their money.
Yeah.
Yep. Remind them that whatever they do with their money, it's okay.
We could lose a limb on the show and someone go, that's great. Should I get an S2000? Or
S2000 all the way.
Yeah.
My mom has one.
That's why we're considering splitting the shows into question shows and guest shows. We'll see.
Yeah.
Leave us a super chat comment if you want to weigh in on that. Anthony says, I have a 2017, look at this, Chrysler 300 Hemi with a lifetime warranty.
Wait, what?
Lifetime.
How does that work?
FCA was so desperate a couple years ago to get people to buy new cars, they were offering lifetime warranties. Our friend, who does not take care of cars, really doesn't take care of cars, has a Jeep with a lifetime warranty on it, and boy, is he going to take advantage. They're going to fucking hate him.
The dealer calls him on the regular asking to buy it back.
You need?
My friend has a Dodge Caliber he bought with the same thing, and they've called and offered like 3 times over what its MSRP, what it's worth now.
So $2,500.
They're like, we'll give you $10,000. He's like, nope.
Everyone who signed off on that deal is probably fired by now.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, lifetime warranty. So Anthony says, what are your opinions on FCA and full-size V8 sedans going towards extinction?
I mean, well, they're going to be extinct because everything's going turbo and MPG rules and all that stuff, but you don't have to worry about that if you have a lifetime warranty.
Yeah, you obviously
Your
don't
car
need
will
to
last
buy
forever.
another car.
I like the way the 300s drove, man. They were fun. They
were nice, yeah. And
the
also,
later ones felt better. The early
full-size
ones were
V8s
rough.
going towards extinction is
True.
because that's where the market is going. If people were buying these fucking things, wouldn't be a problem. And I don't know where you live, Anthony, but here in Los Angeles, I see more Dodge Chargers than I know what to do with.
Yeah.
They're all over the place down here. Everyone's got the fake green things on them. They're all got V6 Chargers with the green Hellcat bumper guards on them.
Yep.
They're all full of shit. So the market seems pretty fucking strong for them things out here.
I recommend going to like a coal-powered engine. Let's go
stoke it.
Yeah, let's go the other direction.
Shovel faster. We're about to launch on the green light.
Steam cars. Steam cars are the future. Pure Hard Styles.
Good day, lads.
Good day, lads.
Is that
He's from
Aussie?
Australia.
Yeah, that's
$8.
Pure Hard
Australia.
Styles.
You want to know our opinion on LS engines and your preferred mods for an LS2 large cam versus stroker kit, large cam and stroker kit versus supercharged or turbocharged.
I can answer this.
Go ahead.
Get a JZ, idiot.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
I like a 4.2 lobe on a 280 degrees.
Do you have an opinion on LS engines?
Yeah. I think that they are wonderful motors. So this is a constant thing in the drift world is LS versus JZ. It's everyone's favorite discussion because still in pro drifting, like almost half the field is one of those two motors. And the LS is reliable and it makes gobs of torque, which is very awesome for drifting, especially on a budget. If you just put an LS base out of whatever donor you wanted in an S13 or S14 chassis or BMW, whatever, and you just did for fun drift events and kept it at 300, 400 horsepower, you'd have fun all day, spend no money, and never break. Yeah. But then people twin turbocharge them and do crazy shit, and then they break more. But they're still great motors. Like Kristaps Blush, he's a Latvian guy. He's got a hyper tuned LS, maybe one of the most advanced in the world, but a 9,000 RPM Massed Motorsports LS in his BMW, and it sounds ridiculous.
Amazing.
It's the best sounding drift car in the world, I think. But that's one of the best LSs. But then also on the other end, you have the 2J crowd, where like the winner for the past 2 years, James Dean, has had a 2J powered S15. It sounds crazy. Everyone likes the pops and the bangs and the weird shit. I like it all. I take a middle ground in this. You can make awesome power, awesome reliability, awesome sounds out of both motors. Kristops is arguably more expensive to make an LS that crazy, and I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to look at what your desired application is. If your application is road courses, a naturally aspirated heads cam, LS will
bang for
run
the buck reliability LS
all day.
Yeah.
And if you are trying to run half mile or full mile events, then you can start going with the turbos and shit. But you certainly don't need that for a street car.
I don't think you should really turbo your LS unless you are an asshole. No.
Build a railway car or something, go ahead. But there's not a lot of point to it on the street.
And you're also changing the power band a lot. Like I like the way the NAV8 feels, and the supercharger is gonna mirror that better and kind of keep that feeling versus going turbo, waiting for boost, all that shit.
Yes. What was the second half of the dude's question?
Stroker or supercharger?
Oh,
Was that right?
Yeah, it was like forced induction versus heads cam and stuff
cam
like that.
Cam stroker shit. Which do we like? I think for modifying an LS.
NA. I think LSs are cool. NA.
I like NA.
Maybe throw a 500 shot of nitrous on it.
Zach.
Oh.
Supercharging these things is the next step. Turbos are fucking way too nuts. I would say I like NA ones though, but they're good because they're small and they're light and they work. That's really the idea. Andrew Kerman says,
Andrew.
One size Sam size duck or 100 duck size Sams. I think 100 duck size Sams. I'm sticking with my kicking method. I think I can kick them. I do.
But do I get my secret prison shank that I bring with me everywhere as a duck?
Do all 100 of them get them?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Whoa. Zach, can you look up whatever that car is on the next question? I have no idea what that
HSV GTSR W1.
That's a Holden.
You don't know?
I know it's a Holden, but I don't know all the. We get asked a lot about shit from Australia.
Hold on. What about you, Zach? Which one are you going to fight, dog?
I'm going to go with a Sam size duck. Still, I'm maintaining. You're smaller than Corey, so it's just going to be the same fight,
smaller.
but easier.
Yeah.
You seem like a kind person.
I'm
not
more
a dangerous
nimble,
person.
and I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
So what is this thing? It's a Holden Commodore HSV. It's
a big angry Holden.
It's a GTO.
It's a big angry GTO Chevy SS thing. Okay, so the question is.
The question is,
should I get one of those? Do we have thoughts on it? Hoping it will be a safer place to park money than a V8 AMG or a BMW
Have you ever
M5.
driven one of those big Aussies?
Not in Australia. I've driven a very fast one in America, like an SS that was like 700 horsepower. It was cool. But, all right, so park money, if we're talking about you brand new, if those even exist brand new anymore, Mercedes depreciate, BMW depreciate, and then they sit there, and they're there forever. Like the last gen V10 M5 and those E63s we just talked about recently on a couple shows ago, they drop instantly to 35 grand from new, and they sit at 35 grand for like 8 years. So the sweet spot is to buy like a 4-year-old AMG car because they're depreciated and they just chill.
Yeah. I looked into that and when I'm doing my car searching, like the C63 AMG from 2015.
Yeah.
Looks real good right now for like 40 grand.
Yeah. And they sit there. Yeah. So, it's whatever you want. You can tell. It depends on what this person's priorities are. You sit in the Mercedes, and then you go sit in the Holden. You will feel the difference in your hands.
Does the Mercedes have the truck car option though? That's the other question. Looks like there's a El Camino version of this one. Mercedes, I don't think
the person is asking about the El Camino version. I think they're asking
I'm just saying that's like a plus for me if they make the car with a bed as well.
You could go down to Hoonigan and just sawzall that shit.
I would also look. I don't know how reliable the Holdens are, but assuming they're just the same as any other GM product. I mean, like you said, you're probably gonna have more. You're not only gonna have a quicker depreciation with the AMG or the BMW, you're probably gonna have more maintenance problems, and then you have to import the parts from Germany instead of getting them. Assuming the parts are still around in Australia, so like you're gonna add a lot of cost to the ownership while you wait for it to appreciate again, or it's probably gonna depreciate slower.
And then just no on the BMW M5.
Just no.
Yeah,
I
like them, but man.
The 2013s have just gotten cheap. The first twin turbo ones.
Really?
Now in the 30s.
Man, those are fun.
Yeah.
They sound like nothing, but they were fun.
Oh, yeah, okay. Anthony's back saying yes. Everyone has chargers, hence the 300. Got it. Jesse
at 420. What's up, dog?
Jesse at 420. Just throwing us cash.
Thanks, Jesse.
That's it. Cool. Good show, brother.
That was
Friday
good.
afternoon. Keep it nice and slick. What do you want to plug before we get out of here? Maximum Driftcast?
I want to plug Cheesy Gordita Crunch from Taco Bell.
Crunch Wrap Gordita. Shout out.
Are you doing a bill with him?
Taco Bell, yeah. What we're doing is it's like an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile style, but we're building the taco car. So
about this.
What is the frame going to be? Like, what are you building off of?
It's going to be built
Tacoma,
off of...
dude, a taco.
Yep.
Why are you spoiling this?
Point
our second option was actually going to be the Murano Cabriolet.
As it opens, it fills with
That's
sour
going to pump people up.
Bought by tacos.
I got a plug Race Service. Follow them on Instagram. Check it out. It's my place of employment. And we're doing cool car shit all the time.
Are you still doing? Are we doing Wednesday coffees?
Wednesday, yeah, every Wednesday, most Wednesdays, we have more or less just a minor cars and coffee. Come on down, hang out with us.
Cars and coffee for minors is what you meant.
Yeah, for children only.
If you're kids, come on down. If you're not, bring someone else's kids.
Just find a kid, bring them over. We'll love
Midweek cars and coffee is good though. Yep. Sometimes you want a Wednesday cars and coffee.
And we're Mid-City LA. Check us out. Also got to plug Maximum Driftcast, my podcast. If you like 2-hour boner jokes with a little bit of drifting information mixed in, check it out.
I learned a lot in. I think I listened to like the first 20 episodes. You guys do a long show and
that
I
was
have other
rough.
things, but no, I thought they were
the first 20.
Well, roughly, I don't know.
I'd recommend if you guys
guests.
are going to listen, like maybe start with the most recent, and if you really like the show, go back 100 episodes, and then if you still are interested, then God bless you, my child.
I don't know. There's a good. You guys talk about suspension geometry, driving technique.
We do get a lot of information.
It is
out early because then we just don't talk about it later on because we've already gotten that out. But I think it was rougher a couple of years ago.
It probably was. But I still found value in it.
I appreciate it.
I'm saying, just take the fucking compliment, Sam.
Thank you. All right.
God damn it.
Wow. Is he always like this?
Yep.
He's uppity.
Sam Nalven on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
Thank you.
Happy Friday, everybody. I will see you next week. We got some good shows next week. Am I going to tell you what they are?
Nope.
Actually, that's not true. We have one show next week. 2 shows. No. Monday morning, we have the dude from Speedcore, whose name is escaping me, but they build crazy shit.
I've been there.
Yeah, on Monday. What's the fucking calendar say, Zach? Am I retarded?
Monday we have Donnie Calloway.
Oh yeah, Donnie Calloway, vintage Ferrari and Lamborghini expert Donnie Calloway. This guy rules. He's all kinds of fun.
Speedcore is Tuesday, which is David Salvaggio.
Yes, that's it. Speedcore, and then I'm going to Mammoth.
And then next Saturday, the 2nd, we got Freddie.
Oh yeah, Freddie Hernandez.
Tavares.
And then Sunday the 3rd, we have
Sam and Travis, I think, right?
Fuck yeah, we got a bunch. Sam and Travis from Road and Track. We got them all. They're all coming in between.
Awesome.
I'm taking the safari to Mammoth.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Now that I've been on this podcast, is it pretty much like me being on the Joe Rogan podcast? Because you were on Joe Rogan.
Same reach.
it's like having sex with the same girl.
Yeah.
It's the same exact.
You are now Eskimo
Brothers.
Eskimo podcast.
Richard Rawlings was on the Joe Rogan podcast a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I've not listened yet. Have you listened, Zach?
No, I haven't.
He hasn't.
Yes.
He's definitely never listened before.
It was the first time I've heard Richard Rawlings sound nervous, to be honest.
Really?
I did listen to it, and the first half, he sounded like tight and nervous, and then they drank tequila, and then they opened up, and then they started making jokes and having good stories and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he needs a little lubrication, I think. Yeah. All right, there it is. Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. You just need a microphone, a connection to the internet, and ideally something to say. Goodbye, folks. Have a good weekend.
Bye.